Hey, my name is Matt and welcome to Ranking Tactics. I'm excited for this video because it's another one in our Q&A series where I take your questions about SEO, about content writing, content generation, content research, all that stuff, and try to answer it on video. The whole goal is to get you more traffic to your website by ranking higher on the search engines. So this question was from Createrati, I guess that's the company's name, and they reached out to me and they said their goal is to create a blog about branding, design, and growing their business through DIY products such as books, courses, referrals, while also offering one-day done-for-you branding intensive consulting for more established businesses making 6 to 7 figures. Ideally, would love to serve a lot of multi-talented creators and or sustainable lifestyle brands who want to attract premium customers. So there's a couple different things going on here, maybe some DIY stuff. So I don't have a lot of money. I can't afford this one-on-one consulting. So maybe I just want to read a book about branding or making my own logo or something like that. Maybe there's a course about it. If I do have some money, I can do this done for you. It's done in 24 hours in one day, but this is only for businesses making 6 to 7 figures. Now the ideal audience would be these multi-talented creators, not sure what that is, or sustainable lifestyle brands who want to attract premium customers. Now the question they have is, I'm confused about what keywords to use for my pillar content and how even to structure my site. For example, if I want to use brand designer as a keyword, I get luxury brands. If I use logo designer, I'm competing with AI designers and other big brands like Canva. And they ask, is this where I use long tail? They say my blog is on a subdomain from my website. I heard that's not ideal, but I find it easier to update my portfolio. Okay, a lot of different things going on. Basically, this company is asking, how can we get more traffic to our website? We want to rank higher. We're not really sure what we should be ranking for, and we're not really sure what we're offering. There's a lot of different offerings here. We have these DIY products, but then we're also looking to serve these really high-end customers through this one-on-one, done-for-you in one day services. They kind of want to focus on this. They say multi-talented creators, not sure what that is. I don't know if that's a person that plays the piano and the guitar at the same time, or maybe that's a painter and a photographer all bundled into one. Not really sure. I think that'd be something very hard to do a keyword search on and target. Sustainable lifestyle brands is a little bit easier. So a lot of stuff kind of going on in here. Let's take this one by one and just kind of give you some answers, give you some help. First, I want to pull up their Instagram. Love the quality of the photos that I'm seeing. Really cool stuff here. I'm going to follow the site or follow the link to go to their site. Here is their site. Now, this is just the main landing page. We scroll down. It looks professional. It has that feminine look to it, not that very neutral look. Not a bad thing. I don't know if this would be something that would be targeting a sustainable niche though, so there might be some work to do on that. My wife would definitely contact this company for branding, but a green company, I'm not sure. Well, we'll talk about that in a minute. And to get to the blog, you click blog down here, and it takes you to the subdomain. So let's talk subdomain first. In general, subdomain can be good, it can be bad, it just depends. A lot of times people use subdomains for local, so maybe you're targeting different cities. You're targeting Cincinnati, Toledo, Cleveland, all these different cities. And sometimes using a subdomain there is a good thing because Google's going to treat them as like separate little islands, separate websites. So you're not going to get cannibalization problems. And so that's really useful when you want to build out to all these different cities. But you're going to have to do all that work. You're going to have to build out to all those different cities. This company is not doing that. They're not targeting one particular city. They're just targeting the entire world. So it's not that big of a concern. The subdomain will pass link juice back up to the main domain, but the main domain is not going to pass link juice down. That's also not too much of a concern here. Or having the blog on the subdomain, I don't see any problem with that. Now let's talk strategy. You're casting your net way too wide. You have this DIY stuff that you want to do, and that area, that niche is so competitive. There's so much stuff on Fiverr. There's so many free branding tools out there or branding websites that will create a logo for $50 or something. Very, very competitive niche. And then there's also this this 6 to 7 figure company for this done for you in one day. And it's like, that's a completely different spectrum right there. So it's hard for me in my mind to see you successfully doing both of those. Now, I think having some CTAs on your site, sign up for the mailing list, and having some DIY stuff is probably okay, but I wouldn't put a ton of effort into writing all these articles about how to create your own logo and stuff like that. I don't think there's a lot of money there because it's such a competitive niche. I think you're probably better off looking for those higher end clients. That brings me to the next problem. So a lot of these higher end clients, these 6 to 7 figure companies, do they really want, a one-day turnaround? If I was making 6 to 7 figures from my company, I don't care if the turnaround's in one day. What I care about is if this new rebranding or whatever it is going to 5x my revenue. If that's the case, I'll wait 30 days. I'll wait 6 months. Time is not a big deal to me. Revenue is a big deal to me. And one day turnaround just seems cheap. So the whole one day thing, I don't think that's a really good, unique value proposition. I think you need to think of something else. Your UVP could simply be you're a luxury brand designer. You target these high-end clients or something like that. It can be as simple as that. I just don't think the one day turnaround makes you sound cheap. And maybe that's fine, but that's a much more competitive niche than the higher end niche. Let's look at some different keywords. You said logo designer, and I did some research beforehand. I got Mozbar installed. Logo designer on Google, very competitive. You're competing against Adobe, against Free Logo Design, Spotify, Taylor Brands. Look at these domain authorities. There's no way in the world you're beating those. Let's go to page 6, and we still have pretty high domain authority sites. Free Logo Maker. Don't hire a logo designer until you've read this guide. Find a logo designer near you. Crazy high domain authority. And look at these ads. Look how competitive this is. 1, 2, 3, 4 ads. It's really hard to appear organically for this particular query. The other query you had was brand designer. Let's put that in. And this was also a very, very hard term to rank for. Indeed.com, 91. Brand designer from GitLab, 90. Just Creative, 69. And I put all this stuff through SEMrush, and there's not a lot of long tails here that aren't already captured. So for both of these, for logo designer and brand designer, very, very competitive. And unfortunately, at this point, you're competing against the bottom of the barrel. Again, there's AI logo generators, AI brand generators, there's AI slogan generators. And for a lot of people, that's perfectly fine. They don't need to pay $10,000 to come up with some super cool slogan when the AI can just do it for them, or come up with some crazy logo when they can just have the AI do that for them. So I think targeting those things, you're targeting the bottom of the barrel, and I don't know if that's the right approach. Trying to break into this and find a niche is difficult. How long would I spend on this? If this were my pet project, I might spend a week trying to figure this one out. This is a tough nut to crack. I think there's something to do with the sustainability aspect, though. So I found this keyword called sustainable branding, and it's actually a thing. Okay, so there's actually some good stuff here. Sustainable branding, sustainable branding strategy, sustainable branding agency, sustainable branding examples. And all this is, now there's not a lot of search volume here. This could be off by a magnitude of 10. So this could be 500, this could be 2,000, I'm not sure. But there's something here, and it doesn't seem like it's too competitive. But we take this and we put it into Google. Let's see what we get. So we get kind of a mix here a little bit. There's Why Sustainable Branding Matters by Forbes. And then we get like a company down here, Fabric Brands. And this is a company that offers branding services. So there's services here, there's a portfolio, there's articles. So I think the domain authority is not crazy high for some of this stuff. Like look, Brand Master Academy, DA31. Now, some of the other stuff's really high, like Forbes is really, really high, but I don't think there's necessarily anything on point. There's also some search volume for sustainable branding agency. So the difficulty here is not very high. You could definitely rank a new website for this, like growfish.com, DA8. Now, I went to some of these websites. I don't want to show them on camera, but some of the competitors here are Growfish, fullmotionmarketing.com, Dandelion Branding. Those were pretty cool websites, and they dealt with the topic of sustainable branding. Now, if we put in sustainable branding agency, we get 30 search volume here. So people are looking for this. And I think this might be an interesting spin on the typical branding agency. This could be like something that this is your UVP right now. As we're moving more into the green area, this is something that you could use to stand out. Let's go to page 2 and let's see how many sustainable branding agencies there are. So there's sustainable marketing agency, sustainable agency. It looks like it trails off. They use the word sustainable. Futura is a change agency, a product incubator, a training academy. Doesn't sound like it really deals with branding. So I think you could carve out yourself a niche here and be a sustainable branding agency. And you could open up some of these websites. And if you have SEMrush, that's great. You can put these websites in there and see what different articles they're writing and what they're ranking for. So if we look at their pages right now, let's look at the keywords they're ranking for here. So sustainable marketing, sustainable media campaigns, what is sustainable marketing sustainability. There's a lot of different terms here, and there is some volume, like sustainable marketing right here. Volume 720, and they're ranked 15. Let's look at what is ranked in the first position. So you could take some of these if they were sustainable marketing agencies. Let's just try that. So we get Dandelion Branding up again, number 1. So you could even rank for this, sustainable marketing agency. So sustainable branding agency, sustainable marketing agency, I think those are 2 keywords that you should probably be attacking if you want to capture this niche. And it wouldn't be hard. There's a lot of room for you given how low the competition is in terms of authority. Now, the problem I was running into off camera is finding what articles to write about. From the websites that I mentioned, there's not a lot of articles on there. There's not a lot of keywords on there. So what could we write about to build our authority in the space, to start getting some ranking for different keywords? I think this is the perfect time to use phrase. So in phrase, and if you don't have phrase, don't worry, free trial in the link in the description below. There's a link to a free trial. Definitely check it out. You're going to need a phrase subscription for this in the AI SEO add-on. There's a template I made, and it's called Blog Idea Generator. And this is a great template for coming up with content that you would want to write about to build authority in a niche. So these keyword tools, they're not perfect. There's a lot of other hidden keywords out there that you probably don't know about. And the AI, given how an AI is built, can actually come up with some of those things that people very well might be searching for. And you're naturally going to start ranking for as you write articles on these different topics. So this blog idea generator, you'll put in your concept. So we want to put in sustainable branding or sustainable marketing. And what you can see here, I'm going to read some of these, are things that I got from this template. And I'll run the template again just to show you. Well, I guess I'll run it while I talk. You want to put the creativity at 5. Which brands are most eco-friendly? Using nature as artwork for your brand. 17 brands that have started a movement, and you could talk about the movement being a sustainability movement or a green movement. 14 brands with a unique sustainability story. So you could go out and interview some of these brands and tell us your story. And a lot of times these sustainable brands are smaller brands. This is a great way to get backlinks because you're featuring them in your articles. And they're going to want to then say, hey, we were just featured on Createrati's website for being like one of the sustainability brands. 5 brands that are using fashion to save nature, achieving green through sustainable branding. Top 5 sustainable trends for 2022. Your next big brand idea might be eco-friendly. Green is the new black, building a brand with conscience. 4 ways to enhance your nonprofit's brand image. How to launch a green campaign. You can read the rest. So I did another generation here, and look at some of these right here. Green marketing trends. What's next? That'd be a cool article to write about. All you got to do is you click it, you bring it right in. 6 sustainable marketing trends to watch out for in 2022. Sustainable innovation, the future of brands. 4 steps towards sustainable branding. 5 best sustainable brands in 2022. What is sustainable branding? Eco-friendly branding 101. What's the most important thing a brand can do for the environment? What is sustainable brand? I mean, I can go through this. This is just one generation. Look at all of this awesome content. Now, is somebody searching for, is it worthwhile to, actually somebody might be searching for that. Let's take this one. Sustainable marketing trends to watch out for. Is anyone searching for that? No. No one's, I can almost guarantee you, no one is searching for sustainable marketing trends to watch out for in 2022. But when you come up with those trends, all right, you may very well start ranking for those particular keywords that you're talking about in that article. And you're building up that authority. You're going to start bringing in traffic through these different articles. And let's try one of these actually with our AI and just see what we come up with. I'm really curious. If we go over here to blog H2 generator, I'm really curious what will happen if we put this in here. So I want to get some H2s and then write a couple paragraphs. This is not scripted, so I don't know. This could utterly fail. I'm not really sure, but let's just see. I'm not getting anything good there. Let's go back and edit this. All right, sustainable marketing trends. Let's just try that, and we'll bump up the creativity from 1 to 3. We want to start using this between 3 and 5. This might be nice. Advertising that connects. That's interesting. Let's bump it up to 5 and see what we get. Why do we need sustainability? What is sustainable marketing? Changes in consumer behavior. Social media is a way to reach customers. Customers' desire to be connected to brands. That's interesting. I think it's an interesting topic. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's get one more. Marketing that saves resources. Okay, now let's go to our content generator. Paragraphs from keywords. Sustainable marketing trends, that's our H1. Advertising that connects, and we're going to put in sustainable, green, and brand. Those are the keywords we want the AI to talk about. Let's see what we get. I'm really curious. So this is an example of how you can write articles on those blog ideas that we came up with in the previous section. Advertising that connects. I don't like that one. Okay, so I think this might be good. Let's paste this in. It talks about the world's changing fast. Advertising that connects with people to causes they care about is the future of sustainable marketing. We've already seen this happen with companies like Patagonia and Whole Foods. They use their brands to connect consumers to causes they care about. This trend is growing. It makes sense. If you're not addressing environmental issues, you're missing out on sales. That's why it's important to understand the connection between advertising and sustainability. That's awesome. That's awesome. That's really, really good. So that actually sounds really good. You can do this. You can use, I'm not saying you have to use the AI, but for each of these articles, if you can't think of something, you could try using the AI, building out the different H2s. Again, you can't go to the SERP section here and start pulling stuff out because there's probably nothing going to be on here. You're not going to find a lot in the SERP on these different topics. In that case, if you can't come up with something on your own, which is obviously preferable, use the blog H2 generator to come up with your H2s. Try your paragraphs, preferably with keywords. You'll probably get something really good if you tweak it a little bit, and you can create a lot of articles really quick. So that's targeting the concept of sustainable branding, sustainable marketing, green marketing. I think that's a really cool niche that you could carve out. In terms of your pillar, because you asked also about what keywords to use for my pillar content, or how to even structure my site. So I think you could have in your blog a section about sustainable marketing or sustainable branding, and you could have all kinds of these articles on that. Now you could also, I think, there's some search volume for brand consultant. This one, 1.3K volume, keyword difficulty 55. Let's just put this into Google right now and see what Moz says. So brand consultant, DA25, DA21. That's not that bad. With a little bit of work, a little bit of backlinks, you could beat those things. So there's a lot more search volume here. Now it's going to be a little more competitive than this sustainability, but you could have another section on your blog. You have your sustainability branding or marketing, and then you could have a brand consultant area. In the brand consultant, you could just build out all kinds of different keywords about kind of like what you already have. Best sites for logo design or stuff like that. Not DIY type of things, but see what these different sites are ranking for, and you can do that with SEMrush, and then follow suit. So thinking again about your pillar, your site structure, you have your sustainable marketing or sustainable branding category. You have your brand consultant category. You're talking about what the brand consultant does and the services that it offers, and you're kind of like, that can be where your DIY stuff is a little bit. Maybe you're giving some freebies like, hey, here's some ideas on how to create a logo and stuff like that. But obviously you're going to have to think outside the box, because a lot of that brand consultant stuff is going to be in that very competitive area where everybody's giving away these free logo designer tools or AI slogan generators and stuff like that. So you have to think outside the box or use that blog H2 generator. I wonder what we'll get if we did that. Let's look at that really quick. I am curious. Blog H2 generator, and we'll put in brand consultant. There we go. Set the creativity at 5. See what we get. I'm curious. So these would be different articles you could write about. What are some ways to promote a brand? Brand names make products popular. What is brand management? Why do we need brand management? How can you use brand management? Brand consultants help businesses grow. There are many ways to brand a company. Branding doesn't mean only making logos. Okay, so these are just some examples. Now, that doesn't really look super appealing. That would be a topic you could write about. But if we want to spice it up and turn it into a real title, we'll go to Meta Title Spicer, and we can put this in with the creativity of 1. So what are some ways to promote a brand? Here you go. Promoting a brand in 2022. 4 ways to promote your company. Let's put this one in. Brand names that make products popular. So we've generated these possible articles to write about, and now we're making the titles for them click friendly. So brand names make products popular. Branding 101, how to choose a brand name for your product. Brand names make products famous, how to choose the perfect brand name. That's pretty cool right there. Let's do one more. Brand consultants help brands grow. Let's see what we get for this. This will be interesting. How do they do it? There you go. Something like that. So these are different articles you could then write about. You're naturally going to rank for some of the just the keywords in these articles as you write them. The other thing I think would be really interesting as another pillar for your site would be brand auditing. Now, brand auditing also has some search volume. So this is interesting. Volume of 1,000. Keyword difficulty of 47. Put this into Google. 7 steps to performing a brand audit. How to conduct a brand audit. How and why you should conduct a brand audit. So brand auditing would be, they have their brand. Maybe they went on Fiverr and paid somebody $50 for a brand. Maybe they used a service like yours, but now they're not happy with it, or now they're just trying to audit it, see if the agency they're using right now or they used in the past did a good job. And this is great because you can always come in and say, oh no, what they did completely sucks, and I'm going to help you out and make it a lot better for you. So there's definitely a lot of stuff here. Again, I looked at this off camera. There's not a lot of relevant long tails on this. It's really interesting. Let's put on Moz really quick so you can see the competition. So step-by-step guide to conducting a brand audit. This is pretty low. 28. Some of these are pretty high. These are pretty high too. This one's pretty low. How to perform a brand audit in 9 simple steps. But I bet you, because there's not a lot of keywords on this, that if you built it out using, again, that blog H2 generator, you could theoretically become more of an authority in Google's eyes. Plus, you get those backlinks. Backlinks are definitely going to help you build up your domain authority or your overall authority and help with your ranking. Okay. So to recap, pillar, I think if you're into the sustainability aspects, focus on that sustainable branding, sustainable marketing, or green marketing, those types of keywords. You also might want to branch out to being a brand consultant, have that as another pillar, talk about that kind of stuff, and then brand auditing, that could be another pillar for you. And you could even niche down if you really want to and do like a sustainable brand audit or a sustainable brand consultant if you want to. You don't have to. Now let's talk about your brand. I have some suggestions for you. If you want to go that sustainability route, you're probably going to have to change up your theme. A lot of the competitors in the sustainability area, like Full Motion Marketing, Growfish, and Dandelion Branding, they all have kind of green themes. They're going with that eco tree theme, nature theme, stuff like that. And this is that really neutral pastels, and it really doesn't scream nature, doesn't scream sustainability and the earth and stuff like that. So if you go that route, I would probably focus on changing up your colors, changing up your theme. One theme I liked is I saw a theme by somebody else. It's with WordPress. This is, I think it's called the Chick Serve theme, and I don't know about it. I haven't looked into this one, but I did see someone running it, and it looked really nice. And you could change the whole colors up and stuff like this, but it looked like a very professional-looking theme. It's not to say your site doesn't look professional, but it doesn't scream that 6 to 7 K client. I think you need to take it to the next level if you want to start reaching out to that really expensive clientele. And I think with something like this, you could probably rebrand it with the right color scheme to match what you're going for. The other thing, I think when you go to the blog, I wasn't a big fan of the monotype. And I don't know if it's supposed to look like that or if the font's just not loading, but this, I'm not a big fan of the different font choices and stuff like that. So I think going with that particular layout, it's going to give you those consistent fonts everywhere. Let's see what the blog looks like. So here's the blog. Yeah. I mean, and this is just an example. And there's thousands of WordPress templates out there, but I would probably, if you're not in the WordPress ecosystem, probably look into that. Probably consider just grabbing some kind of a template and going with it and changing it up. The other thing, and I think this is the more pressing issue, is beautiful picture. Love the picture. Instagram, you have a lot of great stuff here, and I see you a lot. You're all over the place, but I don't know who you are. Either Creatorati is your company, and there's a lot of people that work with you, and if that's the case, show me your team. But if it's just you, who in the world are you? Is your name Creatorati? It's an interesting name if it is. And if it is, I'm sorry, I didn't know that. But when I go over here and I click About, I guess it doesn't take me anywhere. And it says Creatorati noun. It's a creator, I guess. Creators are drawn to different things, but you got to sell yourself. On this example WordPress theme, for instance, you scroll down, it says, "Hi, I'm Rachel, a virtual assistant for creative enterprises," and it talks about Rachel. Tell me about you. Tell me your story, because you're the brand here, not Creatorati. You are the brand. So tell me that. Couple other thoughts. You need to get your name out there. You have actually a decent authority here. You got some backlinks, and the backlinks, some of them are pretty good. This Nat Tucker link to you, female travel bloggers. So you're getting some good links. That's good. You want to keep building that up though. You want to build this up. Maybe consider like a spotlight section. You could pick small businesses. If you're going for that sustainability route, you could pick small sustainable businesses to interview each week or each month, and you're going to talk about the business and how they're sustainable, how they're green. They love sharing their story. They love talking about that stuff. It doesn't have to be an hour-long podcast. You can email them and say, hey, we'd love to hear your story, hear a little bit more about you, feature you on our blog. Could you write a couple paragraphs, or could you answer these particular questions? You can mass mail all these small companies just this list of 20 questions to answer. That's a year's worth of content right there. And you can spotlight each of those brands once a week or once a month or whatever on your webpage in an individualized, personalized article, and then notify them when you've published the article. You might even get a free backlink out of it. Great way to build more traffic to your site and get those backlinks. You could even offer a green badge, like Creatorati has recognized you as a green company, and you send them this badge, and it looks pretty cool. Companies love featuring those kinds of things, so they can put the badge on their site, and maybe they'll link back to your website. Really, really cool thing to do. Also, you could consider a newsletter. A lot of these green companies love to stay up with the news. What's going on in the sustainability industry? What's the latest news for that? Have a newsletter. And then you could even consider doing a free brand design once a week or once a month. You could even gamify. The most people to share my website on their social channels or whatnot gets a free design, and it's a contest that runs all month long. So I think there's a lot of opportunities that you have here, a lot of different things you can do. The world is your oyster, so to speak. You can go with it in so many different directions. I think you're on the right track. You just kind of have to nail down what your focus is. Do you want to go the sustainability route, or do you want to go the brand consultant route, or you want to go the brand audit route, or you want to do all three of those things? I would stay away, like I said, about here's how to make a logo or here's how to make a slogan. You're never going to rank for that stuff because it's just too competitive. I hope that helped. If you want me to, you being someone other than Creatorati, if you want me to look at your site and give you some information on ranking and getting more traffic to your website, looking at SEO, looking at ways to write more content, looking at ways to use AI, drop a comment below. I'd be more than happy to help. I read every single comment and I love your comments. If you enjoyed this video, please like it, please subscribe. And until next time, good luck with your content generation. Bye.